Imagine owning your home outright. No mortgage, no landlord, no monthly hanging over your head, and paying less for it than most people pay for a used pickup truck. Sounds impossible, right? It's not. All across America, there are entire towns where you can buy a real house, 4 walls, a roof, a yard, for under $60,000. And we're not talking about a falling down shack in the middle of nowhere. We're talking about the head homes on real streets, in towns that time and the headlines simply forgot. Today we're counting down 10 forgotten United States towns where you can still buy a home for under $60,000. Some of these places are hiding incredible bargains. And the last town on this list? People are buying homes there for less than the price of a new car. Let's get into it. Number 10, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. We're kicking things off in the heart of the Arkansas Delta, in a city most Americans drive right past on their way to somewhere else. Pine Bluff sits about 45 minutes south of Little Rock, and at its peak it was a booming railroad and cotton town with grand brick storefronts and tree-lined avenues. Today, a lot of those buildings sit empty, and that's exactly why the deals here are so wild. The median home price in Pine Bluff hovers around $70,000, but drop your search filter under 60 grand and you'll find dozens of listings. 2 and 3 bedroom homes more than a coat of paint. Here's the part that gets the people. The population has been shrinking for decades, which means sellers are motivated and competition is almost non-existent. You're not bidding against 12 other buyers like you would in Dallas or Atlanta. You might be the only offer they've seen all month. Now, Pine Bluff has its challenges, and we'll be honest about every town on this list. But if you've got cash and a little vision, this is one of the cheapest places in the entire South to plant a flag and own something outright. And believe it or not, it only gets cheaper from here. Number 9, Bessemer, Alabama. 20 minutes southwest of Birmingham, there's a town that literally helped build America. Bessemer was once called the Marvel City, an iron and steel powerhouse where the mills ran day and night and the paychecks were good. Then the steel industry collapsed, the mills went quiet, and Bessemer slipped off the map. But the houses are still standing, solid brick, built to last 100 years, and you can buy one for shockingly little. Listings under $60,000 are everywhere with front porches, craftsman homes with original woodwork, even the occasional fixer-upper for under 30 grand. The median sits in the low 70s, but patient buyers routinely close in the 40s and 50s. That means real jobs, a real inside Boston hospital, an international airport, and big city amenities are all a short drive away, while you're paying small-town prices. For a young family trying to escape rent, or a retiree who wants to own free and clear, Bessemer is one of the most underrated values in the entire Southeast. The secret's getting out, though. Investors have started circling, and if you want in at these prices, that window won't stay open forever. Number 8, Danville, Illinois. Head to the Illinois-Indiana border, about halfway between Indianapolis and Champaign, and you'll find Danville, a town that once hummed with factories and was even the hometown of a couple of Hollywood legends. Gene Hackman grew up here. So did Dick Van Dyke. But the factories closed, the population from nearly 50,000 to about 30,000, and home prices fell right along with it. Today, Danville is one of the cheapest places to buy a house in the Midwest. The median home price sits around $70,000, and below $60,000 you'll find a steady stream of solid 3-bedroom homes, many with basements, garages, and big Midwestern yards. Now, property taxes are higher in Illinois than some folks like, so do your homework on that part. But the upfront cost? Almost nothing compared to what you'd pay 2 hours west in the Chicago suburbs. Here's the mini hook most people miss. Danville sits right on Interstate 74, so you're connected, not isolated. You could buy a whole house here for what a down payment costs in most cities. For first-time buyers who feel completely locked out of the market, that kind of math changes everything. Number 7, East Liverpool, Ohio. Tucked into the far eastern tip of Ohio, where the state meets Pennsylvania and West Virginia, sits a town that was once the pottery capital of America. East Liverpool made the dishes that filled American kitchens for generations. The kilns are mostly cold now. The grand old downtown is a shadow of itself, and the homes are almost unbelievably cheap. We're talking Victorian houses, brick row homes, places with bay windows and ornate trim, listed under $60,000 all day long. Some of the most beautiful old homes in town change hands in the $30,000 to $50,000 range. The median for the whole town sits in the 60s. Now, East Liverpool has battled hard times, and to choose your street carefully. But for someone who loves historic architecture and can't stomach big city prices, this place is a goldmine of character. Picture owning a 100-year-old home overlooking the Ohio River for less than the cost of a new SUV. And here's the bonus. Pittsburgh is only about an hour away, so you're never truly cut off from a major city. Bargains like this don't usually Bargains like this don't usually come with this much charm. Number 6, Hannibal, Missouri. Now for one of my favorites on this whole list, Hannibal, Missouri sits right on the Mississippi River. And if the name rings a bell, it's because this is the boyhood home of Mark Twain, the town that inspired Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. It's genuinely charming. Red brick Main Street, riverboats, bluffs over the water, the whole picture postcard package. And yet, somehow, it stays affordable. The median home price in Hannibal runs in the low hundreds. But here's the trick. The older neighborhoods and the smaller homes routinely list under $60,000. Cute 2-bedroom cottages, historic homes that need a little love, places you can walk to that famous downtown from. This is the rare town where cheap doesn't mean depressing. Tourists actually come here on purpose. And here's the wallet angle. In a town that draws visitors year-round, a cheap home isn't just a place to live. It's a potential short-term rental, a bed and breakfast, a piece of a real local economy. You're buying into a place with a future, not just a low price tag. For the money, Hannibal might be the best blend of charm and affordability in the entire Midwest. Number 5, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Deep in the mountains of western Pennsylvania, there's a city famous for surviving one of the worst disasters in American history, the Great Flood of 1889. Johnstown rebuilt, boomed as a steel town, and then, like so many steel towns, watched its industry vanish. What's left behind is a city packed with sturdy, handsome homes and some of the lowest prices in the entire Northeast. The median home value in Johnstown is among the lowest of any city in America, frequently cited under $70,000 and under $60,000. The options are everywhere. Brick duplexes, hillside homes with valley views, solid old houses built when craftsmanship actually meant something. Here's the part that stops people in their tracks. You can find livable homes here for under $20,000. That is not a typo. Now, you'll want to inspect carefully, because some of these homes have sat empty for a while. But for a cash buyer or a hands-on renovator, Johnstown is one of the greatest bargain markets left in America. And you're surrounded by genuinely beautiful Allegheny Mountain scenery, with Pittsburgh about 90 minutes away. If your dream is to own a home with zero debt, very few places make it this achievable. Number 4, Brownsville, Pennsylvania. Staying in western Pennsylvania, we drop into the Monongahela River Valley and a town that history truly forgot. Brownsville was once a thriving river port and coal town, so busy that people used to joke, Pittsburgh was Brownsville. That didn't quite happen. The coal economy collapsed. The population cratered from around 8,000 to under 2,000, and today Brownsville is one of the most dramatically cheap places to own property in the entire country. Entire historic buildings have sold for the price of a used car. Single-family homes routinely list well under $60,000, often under 40, sometimes under 20. Yes, the town is a fraction of its former self. But the bones are incredible, ornate old commercial of old buildings, cast iron store right above the river, homes perched right at Dorfeld. And here's the mini hook. Preservationists and a handful of bold walls are quietly trying to bring absolute law back, which means the person who buys cheap today could be getting in at the absolute bottom. If you've ever wanted to own a piece of authentic, untouched American history for almost nothing, Brownsville is about as raw and as cheap as it gets. Number 3, Cairo, Illinois. At the southern tip of Illinois, where the Ohio and Mississippi lie beautiful and most forgotten towns in America, Cairo, pronounced Cairo, was once a strategic river city with grand mansion, a bustling commercial district, and dreams of becoming a Dardshin-Boy, American metropolis. Then decades of hardship and decline hollowed it out, and Tarj Everdeen has fallen to under 2,000 Mesopotamia people. The result? Real estate prices that barely seem real. Homes in Cairo regularly list for under $60,000, and stunning historic properties, we're talking pillared mansions with wraparound porches, have changed hands for shockingly little. You can buy a substantial home here for the price of a modest car. Now I'll be straight with you. Cairo has seen serious population loss, and you'll want to research the area carefully before you buy. But for the right person, someone who sees a fixer-upper mansion and dreams instead of despairs, there is almost nowhere in America with this combination of grand architecture and rock-bottom prices. Cairo is the definition of a forgotten town hiding extraordinary bargains, and we've still got 2 more that are even cheaper. Number 2, Gary, Indiana. You've probably heard of our number 2, but not for its real estate. Gary, Indiana sits just 30 minutes from downtown Chicago, right on the shore of Lake Michigan. It was built by United States Steel, it gave the world the Jackson family, and at its peak it was home to nearly 180,000 people. Today, fewer than 70,000 remain, and Gary has become almost a symbol of the American Rust Belt. But Harry are some of the cheapest home prices in the entire country. That collapse created some of the cheapest home prices in the entire country. Houses in Gary regularly sell for under $60,000, and a huge share of the market to $30,000 homes for a city this close to Chicago on a Great Lake with commuter rail access into the Loop. Those numbers are almost unheard of. And here's the angle that's quietly drawing investors. And you're a train angle that's quietly year of rent in Chicago. You can buy a home in Gary for less than a single year of America's biggest jobs about it. Gary has real challenges, no question about it. But if you're betting on a comeback, and a lot of people are, getting in at these prices could be the deal of a lifetime. Number 1, Welch, West Virginia. And our number 1 takes us deep into the coal fields of southern West Virginia to a town that's the cheapest place to buy a home in all of America. Welch sits in McDowell County, once the beating heart of the nation's coal industry, a place that powered America's factories and helped win 2 world wars. They called it the heart of the nation's coal bin. But when coal declined, McDowell County lost more of its populations, falling from nearly 100,000 people to under 20 states. Falling from nearly 100,000 people to under 20,000. What got left behind is solid homes, and prices that sound completely made up. In and around Welch, you can buy a house for under $30,000, sometimes under $15,000. Livable homes, real roofs, real walls, mountain views included. The median here is among the lowest in the entire country. Here's the truth though, and Phil never sugarcoated on this channel. McDowell County faces serious economic hardship, and you need to go in with your eyes wide open. But if your single biggest goal in life is to own a home outright, with no mortgage, no landlord, for less than the cost of a used car, there may be no easier place in America to do it than Welch, West Virginia. So there you have it. 10 forgotten American towns where owning a home free and clear isn't $7. From the charm of Hannibal to the rock-bottom deals of Welch, these places American Vauclucruel, these places prove the American dream of homeownership isn't dead. It just quietly moved somewhere the headlines forgot to look. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these towns would you bargain town in your state that moving to? And is there a hidden bargain town in your state that we missed? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and your suggestion might just be the star of our next video. If this opened your eyes to what's still possible out there, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, share this with someone who's tired of paying rent, and subscribe so you never miss the next Hidden Gem Countdown. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.